Good morning. My name is Becky Lipscomb. Tammy Bryden celebrated the birth of her daughter in 1984. She watched her daughter make her first facial expressions, say her first words, and take her first steps. She grew up to be a beautiful teenager who did ordinary teenager things. Well, it was on just another ordinary day when something went horribly wrong. Tammy's 15-year-old daughter Rachel was in a car accident and she was killed, and it was reported she was not wearing her seatbelt. Tammy has stated in an article in the Natchez Democrat on June 30th, 2009, that she feels like had her daughter only been wearing her seatbelt, she would not have been killed. What a sad, sad story. I wonder how many of you today here have similar stories where wearing a seatbelt or not wearing a seatbelt affected your injuries in a car accident. I know that in 1991 I can say the same sort of thing because I feel like had I not been wearing my seatbelt, I too would have been killed that day. So today we're going to take a look back at some of the history of seatbelts, when they were invented, how people responded to them, some of the reasons why maybe we should wear them, and then to the law actually stepping in and enforcing them. Well, in 2005, there was a safety report from the Royal Society of the Prevention of Accidents. It said that people who were interested first were the physicians. In the 1930s, they started putting lap belts in their cars, and they were urging manufacturers to do so also. It also stated that the Sports Car Club of America was having their competing drivers wear their seatbelts. Naturally, they're racing, they really did need to be safer. Well, also a Traffic Safety Center online newsletter stated that back then, the mere reason people were even trying to put seatbelts in their cars was just to keep them actually inside the vehicle. Well, since seatbelts had started being installed in the 1950s, people responded to them a little differently. I think a lot of people didn't feel like they were all of a sudden necessary. I know people from my parents' generation have stories about how they would put their baby car seats in the front seat sideways, not even buckled in. That way they could tend to their baby easier. I know their kids were so short they could have them stand up beside them in the front seat or stand behind them on the back floorboard. The kind of kids kind of had the free roam everywhere in the car. I know all of us have ridden in the back of a truck before, which is about the most dangerous thing we could possibly do. And even Bill Engvall jokes that he would get in the back glass and have his dad slam on brakes and he would roll forward. So there was a lot of crazy, unsafe things we did back then. Even our government was very slow to pass any legislation about wearing seatbelts. I know, according to the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents, it took our Congress more than 15 years for them to pass any legislation, even for a 3-year wearing trial period. Now let's look to some of the reasons why maybe we should consider wearing our seatbelts. I think these next two are two of the most important to all of us because according to the Energy Information Administration and the Governor's Highway Safety Association, there are an average of 3.1 cars per 4-driver household, and 32 states have 70 miles per hour highway speed limits. There are more cars, higher speed limits, so our likelihood of getting in an accident is greater because of this ratio. So some of the physical benefits of wearing a seatbelt are three things. First, it's designed to stop your body when the car stops. This will help prevent or reduce injuries within the car. Second, it's designed to spread the energy of the car crash over the larger parts of your body, like your pelvis and your chest and your shoulders. This will help prevent injuries and also help prevent internal organ injuries. Thirdly, it's designed to keep you inside the car because 70% of accidents where you are thrown, 75% of people who are thrown out of a car are killed. I mean, if you don't stop with your seatbelt, you're going to keep on flying until you hit something. More than likely, you're going to slam into some glass and have it all cracked up and loaded with your body, and it's just not going to be good. It's going to be horrible for you. I'm sure all of us would rather be in an accident, and when the car crash was over, we were sitting buckled in our seatbelt, and our glass looked very not broken and unharmed from our body slamming into it. Well, even though seatbelts were proven to be effective, still people just weren't bent on wearing them. So our government finally stepped in and enforced laws to make us start wearing them. In my interview with Lieutenant Justin Robinson of the Natchez Police Department on June 27, 2010, he said that there are primary and secondary seatbelt laws. Mississippi has a primary law, which means that anytime an officer sees you not wearing a seatbelt, he can pull you over and give you a ticket, which could cost about $25. A secondary seatbelt law state says that officers have to have another reason to pull you over, and then they can cite you for not wearing your seatbelt. So now that we've considered some of these facts, let's go back to Tammy's story for one final thought this afternoon. Because she feels her daughter died in such a senseless way, she is out leaving her Oklahoma home, traveling across the states, trying to implore people to buckle up. She feels like the seatbelt laws will save lives and can change behavior. and that any time a police officer has a chance to pull someone over for not wearing a seatbelt, they should, because it may be their last chance to talk to that person. Also, Lieutenant Robinson is quoted saying, "When you hear seatbelt saves lives, they do," and that in his 12 years of experience working accidents on the force, that those who were not wearing seatbelts definitely sustained more injuries than those who were. So each one of us has to make that decision whether to buckle up or not, but these are just some of the facts to consider. Thank you.